My beloved child, if you are hearing these words right now, this is not by accident. Out of all the moments in your day, out of all the distractions surrounding you, something brought you here for a reason. There is a gentle voice reaching toward your heart even now, asking you to pause for just a moment and listen carefully. Because what you are about to hear is not ordinary. It is a reminder your soul has been longing for, even if you didn't realize it. For so long, you have been carrying things you were never meant to carry alone. The weight of disappointment, the pressure of expectations, the silent battles no one else knows about. You've smiled when you felt broken inside. You've kept moving when every part of you wanted to stop and rest. There were nights when your thoughts became so loud that sleep felt impossible. There were moments when you questioned everything, even the things you once believed so deeply. And somewhere along the way, without even realizing it, you began to drift. Not because you wanted to, not because your heart stopped caring, but because life became overwhelming. Pain has a way of creating distance. Hurt can make even the strongest heart pull away. Maybe you prayed for answers and felt silence. Maybe you hoped for healing and felt delay. Maybe you trusted only to be disappointed again. But even in those moments, you were never abandoned. Through every tear that fell when no one was watching, through every quiet sigh, through every silent cry for help that never left your lips, God was there, watching over you, walking beside you, holding you through moments you thought you had to survive alone. He sees the heaviness in your spirit. He sees the questions you keep buried deep inside. He knows about the pain you hide behind your smile. He knows about the fear you try to ignore. And still, His love for you has never changed. Right now, He is calling you back, not with anger, not with disappointment, not to remind you of where you failed. He is calling you back with love, with mercy, and with open arms. He is not asking you to have everything figured out. He is not waiting for you to become perfect. He is simply asking for your heart. You may feel unworthy. You may feel too far gone. You may believe that too much time has passed. But none of that can separate you from His love. His grace reaches deeper than your mistakes. His mercy is greater than your regrets. This moment is your invitation to return. You don't need complicated words. You don't need some perfect prayer. All you need is honesty. A simple whisper from your heart saying, God, I'm here. That is enough. The moment you turn toward Him, He meets you there. In your weakness, He offers strength. In your confusion, He offers peace. In your brokenness, He offers healing. And maybe even now, as these words reach your heart, you can feel something stirring inside you. A quiet pull, a small spark of hope, a reminder that you were made for more than this heaviness you've been carrying. That feeling is not random. It is His voice gently calling your name, reminding you that it is never too late to come back, reminding you that no matter how far you feel you've drifted, His arms are still open, waiting for the moment you choose to return. And even now He is standing at the door of your heart, patiently waiting for you to hear Him say, there are moments in life when silence feels heavier than noise. Moments when the world around you keeps moving, yet inside your heart, everything feels still, empty, and difficult to explain. You may smile in front of others. You may carry on with your daily routine. You may even convince everyone around you that everything is fine. But deep inside, there is a part of you that feels tired. A part of you that has been carrying more than anyone realizes. If that is where you are right now, hear this clearly. You are not alone. Even in the moments when it feels like no one understands what you're going through, there is a presence beside you that has never left. Even when the room feels empty, when your phone is silent, when the people you expected support from seem distant, you are still not alone. Sometimes loneliness doesn't come from being physically by yourself. Sometimes it comes when you are surrounded by people but still feel unseen. It comes when your struggles are too deep to explain. It comes when your heart is fighting battles that words cannot describe. Maybe you've had nights where you lay awake staring at the ceiling, replaying conversations, mistakes, disappointments, and unanswered questions over and over in your mind. Maybe you've wondered why certain doors closed, why certain people walked away, or why some prayers seem to go unanswered. Those are the moments when loneliness whispers its loudest lies. It tells you that no one cares. It tells you that you've been forgotten. It tells you that your pain doesn't matter. But those lies are not the truth. The truth is that every tear you've cried has been seen. Every silent prayer you whispered has been heard. Every moment you thought you were facing life on your own, there was someone walking beside you, even if you couldn't feel it at the time. There is a love that has remained constant through every season of your life. When people misunderstood you, that love stayed. When relationships changed, that love stayed. When your strength failed and your faith felt weak, that love stayed. It has never moved. You may not always recognize it because it often shows up quietly. It's there in the strength you somehow found to keep going when you thought you couldn't. It's there in the unexpected peace that came during your hardest moments. It's there in the small reminders of hope that appeared right when you needed them most. That is not coincidence. That is proof that you have never been abandoned. Sometimes life becomes so heavy that we convince ourselves we must carry everything alone. We stop asking for help. We hide our pain. We build walls around our hearts because it feels safer than being vulnerable again. But you were never created to fight your battles by yourself. You were created for connection, for support, for a relationship with the one who knows every part of your story. He sees the pain you haven't spoken about. He knows the fears you haven't shared. He understands the pressure you've been carrying, and still, he stays close. Even now, in this very moment, his presence is nearer than you realize. You may not hear an audible voice. You may not see visible signs. But deep within your spirit, there is a quiet reminder that you are held, seen, and deeply loved. This is your reminder to stop believing the lie that you are forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not walking through this life by yourself. The struggles you face today will not define your tomorrow. The heaviness you feel right now is not permanent. There is strength being prepared for you, peace waiting to settle over your heart, and comfort reaching for you, even now. All you have to do is pause, breathe, and allow yourself to believe that even in your hardest season, even in your darkest moment, even when everything around you feels uncertain, there is a hand reaching toward yours, a presence standing beside you, and a love quietly whispering to your soul that there comes a moment in every person's life when carrying everything alone becomes too heavy. A moment when the strength you've relied on for so long begins to feel like exhaustion. A moment when the smile you show the world no longer hides the pain inside. If you've reached that place, then maybe this message is exactly what your heart needs right now. You've been fighting battles silently. You've been holding together pieces of yourself while pretending everything is fine. You've convinced yourself that if you just try harder, push more, and keep everything under control, eventually the pain will disappear. But deep down, you know that isn't true. The weight hasn't become lighter. The ache hasn't fully left. The peace you keep searching for still feels just out of reach. And the reason is simple. True healing does not begin with control. It begins with surrender. That word can feel uncomfortable. It can feel like weakness. It can feel like giving up. But surrender is not defeat. Surrender is the moment you stop trying to carry what was never yours to carry alone. It is the moment you release the pressure to fix everything by yourself. It is the moment you finally open your hands and allow God to step into the places you've kept tightly closed. For so long, you may have been trying to heal yourself through distractions, keeping busy so you don't have to think, filling your time so you don't have to feel, searching for comfort in things that only offer temporary relief. But no distraction can heal what your soul is carrying. Healing requires honesty. It begins when you stop pretending you're okay. It begins when you admit that some wounds still hurt. It begins when you acknowledge that some burdens have become too heavy for your own strength. There is incredible freedom in saying, "I can't do this alone anymore." Those words are not weakness. They are the beginning of restoration. God has never asked you to have all the answers. He has never expected you to fix every broken part of your life before coming to Him. He is not waiting for a polished version of you. He is waiting for the real you, the tired you, the hurting you, the confused you, the version of you that feels uncertain and afraid. That is the version He wants to meet. Because healing starts the moment you stop hiding. Think about how long you've been carrying certain pain. Maybe it's disappointment from doors that never opened. Maybe it's heartbreak from people who walked away. Maybe it's regret over choices you wish you could undo. You've held on to these things for so long that they've started to feel familiar. Sometimes we hold on to pain because letting go feels unknown. But what if the very thing you're afraid to release is the thing keeping your healing from beginning? Surrender means trusting that what God has for you is greater than what you're holding on to. It means releasing the anger, releasing the fear, releasing the guilt, releasing the need to understand everything right now. It means choosing trust even when clarity hasn't come yet. And when you surrender, something powerful happens. The pressure begins to lift. The constant striving begins to quiet. The heaviness starts to loosen its grip. Not because every circumstance changes instantly, but because your heart is no longer trying to carry what God is asking you to place in His hands. Healing is not always immediate. Sometimes it is gentle. Sometimes it is gradual. Sometimes it unfolds one day at a time. But it always begins with a yes. A quiet, sincere yes from your heart that says, "God, I release this to you." Right now, you may feel something stirring inside you. A sense that it's time to stop fighting so hard. A quiet invitation to rest. That is not random. That is your moment. This could be the beginning of your healing. The moment where peace begins to replace anxiety. The moment where hope begins to rise again. The moment where your heart finally lets go of what it was never meant to carry. All it takes is surrender. All it takes is trust. All it takes is your willingness to open your heart and whisper the words heaven has been waiting to hear. The words that mark the start of everything changing. The words that simply say, there are moments in life when everything feels like it is stuck in the same place. You try, you pray, you hope, but nothing seems to change. It can feel like you are moving forward in effort, but standing still in reality. If that is how your heart feels right now, then this message is for you. Because even when it feels like nothing is happening, something is still happening. You may not see it yet, but behind the scenes of your life, things are shifting in ways you cannot understand right now. The delay you are frustrated with is not the end of your story. The silence you are questioning is not abandonment. And the waiting season you are walking through is not wasted time. It is preparation. Many times we think breakthrough should come instantly. We believe that when we pray, everything should change immediately. But real transformation often happens quietly, step by step, in ways that don't always feel visible at first. Just because you cannot see progress does not mean progress is not happening. You've been carrying questions for a long time. Why things didn't work out? Why doors closed? Why certain prayers felt unanswered? Why certain dreams didn't come to life the way you expected? And slowly, those unanswered questions can begin to turn into discouragement. You start to wonder if anything will ever change. You start to feel like maybe this is just how life will always be. But that is not the truth. Your breakthrough is not cancelled. It is not forgotten. It is not delayed without purpose. Sometimes what feels like delay is actually divine alignment. Sometimes what feels like rejection is protection. Sometimes what feels like loss is making space for something greater than what you imagined. You may not understand it now, but one day you will look back and see that everything was moving you towards something better. Right now, you are in the middle of a process you cannot fully see. And that is where faith becomes important. Because faith is not about what you can prove in the moment. It is about trusting even when the outcome is not visible yet. There is a reason you are still here. There is a reason you haven't given up. There is a reason something inside you keeps holding on, even when everything around you feels uncertain. That reason is hope. And hope is not random. It is a reminder that your story is not finished. Your breakthrough may not look exactly how you imagined it. It may not come in the timing you expected. But when it arrives, it will make sense in a way that only time can explain. There are doors that are being prepared for you right now that you are not even aware of. There are opportunities aligning in your favor that have not been revealed yet. There are answers forming in places you cannot see. And while you are waiting, something important is also happening inside you. You are being strengthened. You are being shaped. You are being prepared to handle what you once prayed for. Because breakthrough is not just about what changes around you. It is also about what changes within you. The weight you feel right now is not permanent. The struggle you are in is not your final destination. And the season you are walking through is not where your story ends. There is a turning point ahead. A moment where things begin to shift. A moment where clarity replaces confusion. A moment where what was once blocked begins to open. You are closer than you think. Even when it feels slow, even when it feels quiet, even when it feels like nothing is moving, Your breakthrough is still on its way. And in the middle of all this waiting, all this uncertainty, all this emotional weight you have been carrying, there is a reminder gently reaching your heart that something new is about to unfold. Something you have been waiting for longer than you realize. Something that begins when. There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, yet something deep inside you still feels like there is more waiting for you. More meaning, more direction, more peace, more purpose than what you are currently living in.
There are moments in life when everything feels uncertain, yet something deep inside you still feels like there is more waiting for you, more meaning, more direction, more peace, more purpose than what you are currently living in. If you've ever felt that quiet inner pull, that feeling that your life is not random, then this message is for you, because your life is not an accident. You were not placed here without intention. There is a reason behind your existence, even when life feels confusing, even when your path feels unclear, and even when you don't fully understand what is happening around you. Purpose is not something that suddenly appears when everything is perfect. It is something that begins unfolding even in your broken, uncertain, and waiting seasons. Many times people think purpose is only about big achievements or visible success. But divine purpose starts much deeper than that. It starts in the heart. It starts in the quiet moments when you feel like giving up but still choose to continue. It starts when life breaks you in places you didn't expect, yet something inside you refuses to completely let go of hope. That inner strength is not random. That quiet endurance is not meaningless. That voice inside you that still believes something better is coming is not your imagination. It is a reminder that your life is guided even when you feel lost. You may have gone through situations that made you question your worth. You may have experienced rejection that made you doubt your value. You may have faced delays that made you wonder if your prayers were ever heard. And slowly, those experiences can make a person feel disconnected from their purpose. But purpose is not erased by pain. It is not cancelled by delay. It is not destroyed by mistakes or setbacks. In fact, many times purpose is shaped in the very seasons where you feel the most lost. Because those are the moments where you learn, where you grow, where your heart becomes stronger, and where your character is refined in ways comfort could never teach you. There is something greater being formed in you, even now. You may not see it clearly yet, but every experience you've gone through has been adding depth to your journey. Nothing has been wasted. Not the tears, not the waiting, not the confusion, not even the moments you thought you were completely alone. Everything has been shaping you for something meaningful. But divine purpose always requires a response. It requires willingness. It requires openness. It requires a heart that is ready to say, I may not understand everything, but I am willing to trust the process. Saying yes to divine purpose does not mean you will have all the answers immediately. It does not mean your problems will disappear overnight. It does not mean life will suddenly become easy. But it does mean you are no longer walking blindly without direction. It means you are choosing to trust that your life is being guided toward something meaningful, even when you cannot see the full picture yet. There is a version of you that is still unfolding, a stronger version, a more peaceful version, a more aligned version of who you were created to be. And that version is not far away. It is being shaped in this very moment, through everything you are experiencing right now. Sometimes purpose feels uncomfortable because it stretches you beyond your current limits. It challenges your fears. It pushes you out of familiar patterns. It calls you to let go of things that no longer serve your growth. And that process can feel uncertain, even painful at times. But growth and purpose often walk together. What feels like pressure today may actually be preparation for tomorrow. What feels like delay may actually be divine timing, aligning everything perfectly. What feels like confusion may actually be redirection towards something better than what you planned for yourself. You are not lost, you are being guided. And even if life has made you question your direction, there is still a path being prepared for you that will eventually make sense of everything you've been through. There is still meaning in your story. There is still beauty in your journey. There is still purpose in your existence. And right now, in this very moment, life is gently inviting you to stop resisting what is unfolding and instead begin to trust it, begin to accept it, begin to align with it, because something greater is already waiting ahead, and it begins the moment you simply say yes.